Rosemary Rose, nature sure gave you such a beautiful nose. Though you're not beautiful, there's someone that knows that Rosemary Rose has eyes of blue, and someone is treasuring a picture of you, taken on holiday when you were just 3. My sweet Rosemary, you look nothing like a child, yet you're such a little baby, chewing on your licorice gum and cigarettes. Rosemary Rose, carefully sewing on your buttons and bows, hoping that someone will be wanting to know of Rosemary Rose. Nothing like a child, yet you're such a little baby, chewing on your licorice gum and cigarettes. Rosemary Rose, carefully sewing on your buttons and bows, hoping that someone will be wanting to know of Rosemary Rose.
Early on, in the first few months of my intense studies and tutelage under the loving, watchful eyes of the Sasquatch people, I experienced a breakthrough moment. This was the first time that I had a significant experience facilitated through them. When my friend Randy Brisson, my First Nations friend, was not with me. It was the first time I had my own moment exclusive to me and them. It was quite intense. And like I said, this was in probably the first month or so of or first couple of months of getting to know these amazing forest dwellers. Now, up to that point, I had had many credible experiences, but they were always shared with Randy. That made this one extremely special. And I call it a test of mettle. And when I say a test of mettle, one thing about the Sasquatch people is they will not work with you beyond your fear barrier. If you have fear, they will not go beyond that. So learning to trust them and not fear them is very crucial to one evolving and advancing in our lessons with them. So what transpired is the day previous, I had been at this spot where there was this beautiful marker, this beautiful asterisk that marked their territory. Every time I drove in, I would see it, and it always gave me a special loving feeling. And it was magnificent. And the day prior, Randy, myself, and 2 other individuals were posing by this asterisk structure and taking pictures. And we found that of the 4 cameras that we shared between us, we could not seem to get a clear picture of the structure. I've come to know over the years and over time that this is due to the extreme energy in the area when they were around. Their energy is so high that you cannot get clear pictures. in the area where they are. And that means either of them, or even, like I said, in the general vicinity. There seems to be an amazing energy that distorts pictures. It's quite incredible, quite consistent from my experience. So we found that very interesting. And like I said, we couldn't get a clear picture of the structure. We might have had one out of maybe 12 pictures or something. I think maybe one came out fairly well, or fairly good. And that's the picture that you're seeing here. Other than that, they were completely distorted. So in any event, I was talking to my friend, Tom Cantrell, a man who has a lot of experience in the Sasquatch realm and has put in many, many years in this pursuit. And he suggested that I go back to this area, the area of the asterisk, and see if the pieces that formed it were pushed over or were carried in. And, you know, even from an early stage in my lessons with them, actually right from the beginning, evidence was never my pursuit. That's why, even though I've seen literally hundreds of tracks of these people, I have only casted one, and that was at the request of a friend. But evidence is not that important to me. It comes, and you get an abundance, a plethora of evidence. But even though it's something that I enjoy, and I enjoy seeing the things that they make, and I enjoy every experience with them, this is more about a teaching and a student relationship, or a student-teacher relationship between myself and them. So evidence is a byproduct, and kind of like the cherry on top of ice cream sundae, but it's not my main objective. But in any event, Tom suggested I go back and I check it out, as I said, to see if the pieces were pushed over or placed there, brought in from another area. And as I was examining it, I got out of my car, parked my car on the side of the road, walked up to this area, started examining it, and I found that some of the pieces had been pushed over and some had in fact been carried in, which is very revealing. Not that I had any doubts as to who the architect of this structure was, but it still speaks to the creator of it and its authenticity as far as it being related to Sasquatch. So as I was looking at this structure, I was bent down, examining things, and all of a sudden I got this unique feeling in my third eye area. Now, over the years, when they've come around, especially early on, things always evolve, but especially early on, I would get this third eye feeling. And sure enough, shortly thereafter, a little rock would be tossed out on the trail, or some kind of obvious sign that they were around would transpire. And the precursor of this was a feeling in my third eye area. But at this point, I had never experienced this. So I really didn't know what it was. And I thought, wow, this is weird. It was really, really obvious and quite intense. And I just thought, what in the heck is this? Then all of a sudden, one of the most amazing things happened. Suddenly, I heard what sounded like two semi-trucks colliding head-on in the bush, in the woods. And I was in, way, way deep in the woods, and there were no other people anywhere around, and certainly not any semi trucks colliding head on. Now, these kind of sounds are not unusual, really. I've never actually heard that specific one, but I've heard many, many others, like doors slamming, for example. And this speaks to the fact that they can give us any visual, sensory, or audible experience that they want. And they can individualize it to individuals, even in a group of people. 2 of the 4 may experience something dramatic, and the others will not. And that's something I've experienced many times too, and to me is undeniable. But anyway, I heard this bang crash sound of, like I said, 2 semis colliding right in the middle of the woods. And this, like I said, followed my third eye feeling. And when I heard it, I jumped up. I was startled. I wouldn't say I was scared, but it was dramatic, and I was startled. I jumped up, and my glasses flew off my head. And I remember, like I said, not being scared, but I recall saying, "Good one, guys." That was cool. And what was happening is that they were testing my mettle. They were wanting to see how I reacted if I was in fear. Because, as I've said many times, they will not take you further than your level of fear. If you have fear, your lessons, your journey with them will not advance past that fear. So that was an early experience, and I have no doubt, like I said, that they were testing my level of fear. And I think I passed because, like I said, I laughed and congratulated them on a very, very cool experience. But sadly enough, a substantial windstorm erupted one day and blew the structure down, leveled it to the ground. And I was really, really sad when that happened because of the joy that it gave me, what it represented. And I miss it to this day. Yeah, it was an amazing structure where I had an amazing experience and teaching moment, one that I will always treasure. One thing about their teaching moments, they can be very, very dramatic. I've had many, and this is one such. And like I said, it was the first significant experience that I had when I was not with Randy. And, I've been at this for over 10 years. And this experience happened within the first month or two of my connecting with the people. Just a few months after my call to the woods, when they telepathically called me in, and everything started to unfold. So I thought I would share this with you, and thank you for listening. And remember, you have nothing to fear with the Sasquatch people. They're not monsters. They're beautiful, wise, higher vibrational beings. Many of them are teachers, loyal friends. Do not fear them, because fear will prevent you from progressing in your lessons.